Matthew 25:19. After a long time, the master of those servants returned and settled accounts with them. The man who had received 5 bags of gold brought the other 5 bags. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 5 bags of gold. See, I've gained 5 more. His master replied, well done, thou good and faithful servant. You have been faithful for a few things. I'll put you in charge over many. Come and share your happiness with me. The man who had received 2 bags of gold also came. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 2 bags of gold. See, I've gained 2 more. His master replied, well done, thou good and faithful servant. You've been faithful with a few things. I'll put you in charge over many. The man who had received 1 bag of gold came. Master, he said, I knew that you are a hard-working man, harvesting where you have not sown and gathered where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid, and I went out and hid your gold on the ground. See, here's what belongs to you. His master replied, you wicked, lazy servant. So you knew that I harvest where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed. Well, then you should have taken my money, put it on deposit, so that when I return, I would receive it back with interest. So take the bag of gold from him and give it to the one who has 10 bags. I dare you to tell yourself, self, I'm coming out on top. Say, self, I'm coming out on top. In the text of these men, they started off with little, but somehow gained twice the amount they first had. If you can remember in the text, the master replied to them, he said, you've been faithful with a few things, so I'll put you in charge over many. A lot of us want to get to the top, but we're not faithful with the few things that God gives us. We want to have that 10 bags of gold, but we're not faithful with the 5 bags that we do have. We want the big house, we want the best cars, but we're not faithful with the few things that we do have. And that's why a lot of us aren't getting to the top. That's why a lot of us are like the last man out there digging holes, putting money in the ground and not putting his faith where his fear once was. And a lot of us, because we're not faithful for the few, God isn't putting us in charge over many. God isn't giving us all the big things that we want because we're not faithful with the few things that we do have. The few things that you do have, you ought to grow through it instead of going through it. A lot of us don't know how to grow through it. When you grow through it, you're not just going through it, but you're learning from it instead of living in it. But this is the thing, if you cannot handle a few, what makes you think you can handle a herd? Getting to the top isn't going to be comfortable. You're going to have to do some things you ain't never done before. You're going to have to invest in some things that you ain't never invested in before. But I stopped by to let you know that God won't give you more than you can bear. So I came to encourage a couple of people today to let you know that you're going to come out on top. If you got a black-owned business, you ain't might got a lot of customers right now. But I stopped by to let you know that after a while, you're going to come out on top. You might be a football player. You ain't getting that much PT right now. But I stopped by to let you know that after a while, you're going to come out on top. You might be in school. You ain't the smartest one in your class. But I stopped by to let you know today that you're going to come out on top. You might be overlooked. You might be talked about. You might be plotted against. Whole time you're going to come out on top. Your whole life might be turned over. But I stopped by to let you know that you got to come out on top. You got to tell your friends that, friends, we can't do that no more. Them old ways ain't going to get me to new places. I got to come out on top because success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts. It's the courage to tell yourself, I got to make it to the top. I got to keep climbing. It's the courage to tell yourself, I can't stay here no more. I got to keep going. You got to tell yourself, after a while, it's all right after a while, but after a while, I'm going to make it to the top. I can't stay here much longer. I got a question for you. Are you going to be man number 1 or are you going to be man number 3? You remember man number 1, he had 5 bags of gold. He put his money to work and then he gained 5 more. But man number 3, he had 1 bag of gold and his fear made him fail. So, therefore, man number 1 put his faith where his fear once was, but man number 3 kept his fear. A day to tell yourself, whatever it takes, I'm gonna get to the top because I'm gonna be that first black-owned business in my family that's gonna succeed. I'm gonna be the first NBA player in my family. I'm gonna make it to the top. I'm gonna be the first NFL player in my family. I'm gonna be the first person in my family to go to college. You gotta tell yourself, self, I'm gonna make it to the top. Whatever it takes, I'm gonna make it to the top.